Before we get into JPL, I want to do a quick review of Mobius Units and Spiral 4-in-1. So I've got some jump rings prepped here, so I'm going to show you how to weave a Mobius unit, and I mean it's a pretty simple thing. I'm going to take one closed jump ring, I'm going to take one open jump ring, and weave it through the closed jump ring. And we'll close it up, just like that. Okay, so let's hold our first jump ring kind of open. We'll take the second jump ring, and it's in the horizontal position, and we're going to flip it up. See, from the middle position up. And now you can see there's an eye right there between the two jump rings, and we want to weave a third jump ring in there. So I'm going to take this one, weave it in. Let's close it up. Okay. And again, we'll look at the first two jump rings. That is a 2-ring Mobius. We'll take the third jump ring, flip it up, and nestle them together. And you get this little kind of little vortex looking unit. And you can see it kind of swirls in this direction, so clockwise Mobius unit. You can also swirl them in the other direction, so let's take a look at that. Here's our first closed jump ring, here's our second jump ring that's just opened. Weave it in, just like we did before. Close it up. Okay, so let's take a look at our first jump ring. Let's take a look at our second jump ring, and this time, instead of flipping it up, we're going to flip it down. There's the eye. And we're going to fit a third jump ring in there. Close it up. Okay, we'll take a look. There's the beginning. Flip it down and nestle it in. And you've got a Mobius that swirls in a counterclockwise direction. And sometimes if you just look at a Mobius, if you look at it one way, it looks like it's swirling counterclockwise, and you look at the other way, it looks like it's swirling clockwise. So the easiest way to tell is just to take it and fan it out like a deck of cards. So this was the counterclockwise one I picked up, and you could see it stacks from front to back. So the first jump ring's in front, and then it goes back. That's our counterclockwise. Here's our clockwise, and I'm going to fan out the jump rings. And this one stacks from back to front. So you can see that first one on the left is in the back. You know, we'll go in the direction that we read a book. So first one is in the back, and then they move towards the front. I'm starting with a closed jump ring, and our spiral chain is going to start with a 3-ring Mobius. And I prefer to work in a clockwise direction, so I'm going to start with a clockwise Mobius. So I have my first jump ring, I put my second jump ring in, and I'm going to flip up. And there's the space between the two jump rings, the eye. I'm going to take my third jump ring and go in the eye, just like that, and close it up. And then I'm going to look. There it is, and flip it up. Okay, so from now on, we will be weaving jump rings through the eye formed by the last two jump rings in the chain, which would be this one and this one. And you can see the eye between them is right there. Another way to identify it would be just the second space in from the end. So if I look at the end of my chain, there's the first space in, there's the second space in. Okay, I'm going to weave my next jump ring through the second space in from the end. Close it. I'm going to continue to flip up throughout. And I'm going to look at the end of my chain. And there's the first space back, and there is the second space back right there. It's the eye between those last two jump rings in the chain. So I'm going to take my ring and put it right in there and close it up. Close it up just like this. I'm going to grab it and I'm going to flip up, and you can see the spiral starting to form. JPL3 is the same really as Spiral 4 and 1 as far as construction goes. You're going to weave the next jump ring. Let's take a look at this. Just like we did with the spiral, it's going to go in the second space back. So that's it. First space, second space, which is also the eye between the last two jump rings that were added in the chain. So you can see I created this in 3 different colors, so each row would be easy to see. So the first thing you want to check on your JPL chain is to make sure you're going to look down one specific row. So I'm going to look at the silver row. And each of the jump rings in that row need to be stacking in the same direction. So you can see the ring is high on the left and low on the right. High on the left and low on the right. You can see it's high on the left, it's above that one. Low on the right, it's below that one. So they're all stacking in that direction. That's great. The next row should be stacking similarly but in the opposite direction. So we'll look at the next row, which is red. And it is stacking in the opposite direction. Low on the left, high on the right. Low on the left, high on the right. Low on the left, high on the right. So that's good. I'm going to turn to my next row, and that should be stacking in the opposite direction. And it is. High to low, high to low, high to low. And you can see it's very flexible in all directions. Okay, so the trick to JPL3, you need to be able to recognize which side of the weave you are working on. So let's take a look at this example. I'm going to hold it like this. So that's the last ring in the chain, and I want to hold it in this orientation so you can see it full and open. We're not looking at it from the side. We're looking at it face on. And then I look at the two jump rings that are inside that ring. So you can see here the two jump rings that are inside the top ring. As they come down, as you follow the ring down, they lean in towards each other. I call this side A of the weave. If I flip it over and we look at the other side and we look at those same two jump rings, you'll notice that the bottoms are leaning out away from each other. I call this side B. So when you're weaving, you need to make sure you're going to weave on either side A or side B, and there are rules to that determine how you're going to do that, so we'll talk about that. But you just need to recognize that this is side B and this is side A. Once you know what side you're weaving on, you need to determine the correct spot to place the jump ring. So let's take a look at this. So if this were spiral 4 and 1, there's the first space back, and here's the second space back, which is the eye formed by the red and the blue jump rings. But the weave is tighter because the aspect ratio is smaller. So you can see in that eye, I've got the third ring back, the silver one, and it's taken up a lot of room in that eye. So when you're weaving, you will either weave to the right side of this jump ring or to the left side of this jump ring. So you need to know how you start the weave, that clockwise or counterclockwise. If you're clockwise and you're on side A, you'll weave to the right of the third jump ring, right there. And if you're on side B, you'll weave to the left. If you have a chain that you started with a counterclockwise Mobius, if you're on side A, you will weave to the left of this ring, and if you're on side B, you will weave to the right. Okay, so with all that being said, let's weave a piece and we'll see how it works out. All right, let's start a piece of JPL3. So I'm going to start with my Mobius, and I'm going to go clockwise. There's the first jump ring of my Mobius. Second one is in. Let's close it up. Okay. Flip it up so I can go clockwise. Let's see. Flip it up. And there's the eye in between. Third jump ring goes through the eye. Now it takes about 5 or 6 jump rings to get the pattern to kind of gel. Okay, so there we go. There's the third ring of my Mobius unit. Flip it up. And right now it still looks like a spiral 4-in-1. So we're going to go in the second space back. There's the first space back. There's the second space back. And go in the second space back. Close it up. Okay. And we're flipping. Okay. So you can see it still looks like spiral 4-in-1, and I need to find the second space back. The last 2 jump rings I added were the blue and the red, so there's the eye right there between them, which is the second space back. 1, 2, and you can see that silver one sitting in there. So I started clockwise, so I'm going to go to the right. And let's see if I can get that in there. Okay. There we go, close it. And now it looks like JPL. So I can see right here. And let's compare sides. This to me looks more like side A. Still a little loose at this point. Let's flip it over. Yeah, the jump rings are more separated at the bottom on this side, so this is going to be side B. So I'm going to start off weaving on side A. So we had a clockwise start, so I know I'm going to be weaving to the right of the jump ring that's already in that eye. So just like that, weave it in and close it. And if I take a look at where I am, I'm still on side A. Watch, I'll turn it over. You can see there's side B with the wide opening at the bottom. Here is side A with the close. Alright, so this is it. Basically, this is the weave now. First space back, second space back. The eye between the blue and the silver. The red one's sitting in there. I'm going to go to the right because I did a clockwise start. Right there. Put it in. Close it. And I haven't put it down yet. And you notice I'm always back on side A. If I flip it, there's side B. Flip it back. There's side A. Clockwise start. Looking for that eye between the red and the blue. There it is. The silver one's sitting in it. I'm going to take my next jump ring and put it just like we did with spiral in the second space back, but I'm making sure to be to the right of that jump ring. So let's go to side B, and we'll weave I'll show you how to do that. So if we're on side B and it's a clockwise start, then we know we've got to weave on the left side of that ring that's in the eye. So let's do that. I'll put that in on the left side. Okay. And close it. We'll do a few and then we'll check our alignment again. But if you notice now, I started on side B and I didn't put it down yet. It brought me right back to side B. Okay, so now we're still on side B. So the next ring is going to go in the eye between the blue and the silver, which is the second space back. And you can see that red ring is in there. Let's see. The red ring is in there. And I want to go right in that space to the left because I'm on side B. Okay. So side B to the left, put it in, close it. I haven't put it down yet. And we are still on side B. So it always brings you around to, you know, the same spot where you started. So which is good. So you can kind of get a rhythm going. Alright, so let's do one more on side B. And then we'll check our weave. Okay, so I want to go in that second space back. 1, 2, which is the eye between the red and the blue. The silver one is sitting in there, and I want to go to the left of it. I'm going to go in that space, but to the left. Okay, and hold on to it. And close it. And if I don't put it down, I'm still on side B. So let's take a look and see if we're still aligned since we changed direction. Alright, so let's check this silver row first. Okay, and it's looking good. Low to high, low to high, low to high, and this one is underneath. It's a little loose because it's at the end, but that will be low to high. So now the red should be high to low. Let's check it. Let's check the red, and it is high to low, high to low, high to low, high, and that will be low. And so the blue should be low to high. And let's check it. And it's hard to tell at the beginning, but you can see that this is the high side because it's above that one, so looks like we're doing good. So that would be low to high, that's under that, low to high, that's above, low, and that will be to high. So it looks like everything's lining up. So whether we wove on side A or side B, as long as we put it on the correct side of that third jump ring in the chain that sits in the middle of that eye, it didn't matter. We did not lose our alignment, and no matter what side we were weaving on, as long as we didn't put it down, it brought us right back to the same side. So you can kind of get a rhythm going. Okay, now let's do JPL3 counterclockwise. So we're going to start with a counterclockwise Mobius. There's my first jump ring on a paper clip. Going to weave the second one through it. Close it up. And then flip it down. I can see the eye right in between, and that's where the third jump ring's going to go for our Mobius. Right in the eye. Out the other side. And close it up. And make sure it flips down. So you can see there's our counterclockwise, stacks from front to back. So now we're going to do the next couple jump rings in like it's our spiral 4-in-1 because the weave's not quite tight yet. So there's the first space back, there's the second space back, which is the eye formed by the blue and the silver. So we're going to put our next jump ring in that eye, just like for spiral. Close it up. And we're flipping down to keep our the same direction of the twist. Okay, so again we're going to go in the second space back. 1, 2. So it's the eye formed by the red and the blue. And I'm going to just sneak in there. Right there. The eye formed by the red and the blue. And that should bring us to a spot where it starts to look more like JPL. So let's close that up. We've got 5 rings in, and now we can see. And that looks like we're on side B, and this looks like we're on side A. So with a counterclockwise Mobius start like we did, if you're on side A, instead of weaving on the right side of that 3rd ring, we're going to weave on the left side of it. So let's do a few of those. Okay, so let's go 1 in onto the left of the 3rd jump ring in. Close it up. Oh, we were on side A, but now we're on side B. So we're going to flip it. Here we're back on side A again. We're finding our spot, which is the eye between the silver and the blue, the 2nd space in, 1, 2. We're on side A, which means we want to weave to the left instead of the right. So let's get a jump ring, go in to the left, put it in, close it, look at where we are. Oh, we're back on side B again. So you notice with the counterclockwise spiral, it doesn't work like the clockwise spiral. The clockwise spiral, every time you put in a jump ring, it always brings you back to where you were before, so you can get a rhythm going. When you're working counterclockwise, it always brings you back to the opposite side, so then you have to rotate it to get back to the side you were working on. So here we are on side A again, and there's our space right in. Okay, there's our eye between the blue and the red, which is right in here, and the silver jump ring is sitting in it. It's the 1, 2, 2nd space back, and we are going to keep to the left. We're on side A, we're counterclockwise, we're going to keep to the left. So, alright, so let's put that jump ring in. To the left. Close it up. And again, we're on side B. Flip it to side A. Let's look for our spot. 1st space back, 2nd space back, which is the eye between the silver and the red. That blue one's sitting in it. We're counterclockwise. We're on side A, so we're going to go to the left. Okay, let's do this. So let's take a look at side B. Let's try side B. So we can see we're on side B. It's wide apart on the bottom, but we're counterclockwise. So counterclockwise side B, we weave to the right side of that 3rd jump ring. So we're going to be going in here with the next jump ring. So let's do a few of these and we'll check our alignment again. So let's see if I can get it in to the right, because we're on side B. Close it up, and as you notice with the counterclockwise, oops, now we're on side A. So we got to flip it. Now we're on side B. Let's find our spot. The blue and the red are the last 2 jump rings. There's the eye. 1, 2, 2nd space back. Alright, we're on side B but counterclockwise, so we want to go to the right side of this 3rd ring back. So let's get it in to the right, put it in, weave it, We're on side A again, but we want to be on side B. There's side B again. Let's look. First space back, second space back right there. It's the eye between the silver and red, and the blue jump ring is sitting right in the middle of it. So counterclockwise side B, go to the right. Counterclockwise side B, go to the right. There we go. Alright, let's take a look and see if we're still lined up. Oh, first let's take a look. Of course, we just wove into side B, so now we're back on side A. Alright, so let's take a look and see what we have here. So let's check out this red row. It still looks like it's lined up. It's going from low to high, low to high, low to high, low to high. Let's go. So the silver better be going from high to low. And it is high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low. And then the blue better be going low, high. And it is from low to high, low to high, low to high, low. And that one will sit up high when we get the next string in. So as you can see, we're still lined up. So counterclockwise, side B, weave to the right, side A, weave to the left, and every time you add a ring, you'll be required to flip it over before you put the next if you want to continue to weave on the same side. Or you could leave it on whatever side and go left, right, left, right, left, right. Okay, so let's take a look at the two chains we just completed. Here is JPL3 clockwise, JPL3 counterclockwise, and as you can see, that's how you make mirror image chains. And that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching.